watching PCVI Network. Based on your time zone, I can say good morning also. Today we have a special show, and that PCVI in your community. When I say special show, we have a special guest also, you know. And I'm just laughing because before even share with you with the guest we have tonight, some people describe her as a performer, educator, administrator. Some people describe her for her commitment, hard work, ambition, and they see her, but she wear several hats. When I say several hats, at New York City Department of Education, school principal, as a coordinator, supervisor, or administrator of art of Freeport, UFSD, as a music chairman for Elmont Memorial High School, and currently as the president of National Association Nego
Musicians
Musician.
Incorporated, yes.
The NAM. And I don't know, it's very excited for the network to have this guest. I'm going to, that Miss Anne-Marie Hoodley Hudson, I'm going to say to you, good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome to PCVI Network.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Well,
Mhm.
they give you several hats.
Mhm.
And PCVI Network, one of the main goal of PCVI Network is to educate, enhance quality of life. Most likely, our focus is on people that visually impaired or that lost the vision. But also, as the network is grow, we saw there is a lot of more information that people that are even that's not that still have their vision still need. And
Absolutely.
education is one of the key. And now to have you with us is a blessing. Now, I'm not going to talk about you. I want you to present yourself to the community, the PCVI network.
Mm. Well, thank you again. Music is so important. I guess my middle name could be Anne Marie Music Hutley Simmons. It's so important to me because music literally saved me as a child. I was the middle child. I had an older brother and a younger brother, and my older brother was very talented, very gifted, excelled in everything he did. And then I came along, and I stuttered as a child. I did not like school at all. I found myself in first grade for 3 years. A lot of people don't know that, but and I'm writing a book about that experience. But I was fortunate to have the kind of parents that I had, who felt that there was something they could do with me, even though I did not like going to school. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to do math. But when my brother would leave the piano, he was one who was taking piano lessons, and when he left the piano, I would go over to the piano. I would start playing, or trying to pick out the numbers that he was playing. And when I finally was able to finish one complete song, my mother took notice that maybe I was gifted in music. And she went to the teacher and said, please put Anne-Marie in the music class. And of course, the principal said, oh no, that class is for the gifted, for the ones who are excelling. We can't have children who are not working up to their potential in this class. But my mother begged her to put me in. This was in Chicago, which is where I'm from. So I got into the class. Additionally, my mother sent me to for private lessons, private piano lessons. I tell you, Dr. Prince, all of a sudden, everything became new to me. Now, number one of my problems was I could not see very well, and they were not aware of the fact that I needed glasses. And that may have been one of the problems. Of course, when you're in the first grade for 3 years, you are now the tallest child in the class, and you're still not doing the work. But I think the very fact that I was taking piano lessons and I was nearsighted, so I could see the page in front of me, but I couldn't see beyond that page. And my music teacher found this out for my mother. But the joy of music was, now I'm reading Italian, I'm doing math by time signature, and time signature is not really, it's not really fractions, but I'm counting now, and it's all making sense to me. And as a result, I began to enjoy reading English. It's one thing to say allegro means happy, and it's a fast tune, but now I'm translating, decoding what I learned in music to everything else that I did in school. It took me a while to really like school because I'm 4 years behind my brother, who was 2.5 years older than me. So it took a while to, but the fact that, of the matter is, it was the music. We have the artistic side, we have the right brain and the left brain. They're not separated, they are connected. And the fact that the right brain was more nourished helped the left brain become more attuned to educational processes and cognitive thinking, and being able to comprehend and being able to analyze. That, and as I grew up, I remembered what music did for me. And even though back in the day, if your parents said you were going to be a doctor, that's what you were going to be. If they said you were going to be a teacher, you were going to be that. Well, my mother knew that I was going to be a teacher. I wanted to be a doctor, but she wanted me to become a teacher. And it worked out very well for me, because I was able to bring other children along who were having problems with other subject areas. And we know for a fact that the study of music has a significant positive impact on growth in language, in understanding the world and culture, and doing math. It opens up doors.
Well, that's true. But I know I asked you to present yourself. You give me so many information. I'm just going to jump in because music, because nowadays, specifically now, as you know, even in the healthcare system, and we are focusing, we're on music. Music, we use it as a form of therapy for a lot of patients. And research prove it, and it's even people that have stroke, music
Yes.
help them, help the rehabilitation process faster.
Absolutely.
Even people that have kids that have, pre sign of autism, music help them communicate better.
Indeed.
And I've been reading a lot about this thing.
Yes.
And beside what everybody know as for what music can do for depression and help you, and for your memory, if you start losing your memory, because there is a lot of research going on now between music and Alzheimer, and all we can help, the stimulate the brain. Some of the specific part in the brain. When you talk about the right brain, the left brain, me Masaki, as for the memory center, I'm going to talk about the hippocampus, the amygdala. Because I can give you this terminologies. Or music can stimulate the dopamine, some of the neurotransmitter.
Right.
That can, give you a lot of, put you in a lot of situation, because when they say music can help you lower your blood pressure, decrease the stress. This is because you come to this. That's why I bring it. But my question, I'm going back to you. And now, being like at New York State Department of Education, as a principal for school, and you didn't like school.
Yeah.
And are you inspire your because you have a lot of students that may not like school. I want to know, are you be able to?
Right. Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. We took 26 students from the Elmont High School to our Centennial Convention in Chicago in July of 2019. And one of the mothers, we had chaperones with us, one of the mothers of one of my students came to me in tears at the end of their master class, because they were there to sing a selection of selections, and then to have an outstanding conductor rework those same selections. And this mother came to me and said, I just want to thank you for what you've done for my daughter, because she was ready to give it up. She was no longer interested in her classwork. She didn't really want to go to school, and this was not a young child who hated school at the beginning of her life. But now she's in high school, almost getting ready to go to college. And she said, whatever you did, I've watched you just touch the lives of children. But that's a gift of God, if I must say. it there's something very spiritual about music, and there's something that I'm connected with, and I've been able to inspire many, I would say, and thousands, and I'm not the only one. Others like me, we have been able to inspire thousands of young people to live their life in a better way, to maybe go into a career in music, or into one of the careers, be it technology, the director of a show, backstage people, musicians in musicals, or if they wanted to go into opera or sing spirituals. We've been able to guide them that way as well. But my thing is, one of the most important things about music, music education, is that if the students are immersed in music, they are a totally different person. If you look at all of your graduating classes, and this is across the country, not just in New York City, I happen to have been a principal of a high school, but if you look at your top 10 students in your graduating classes, those students were either in chorus, in orchestra, the band. Some may be in visual arts. Visual arts has an impact on students as well. But in every single class, and I'm no longer at the Elmont High School, but the valedictorian and the salutatorian of this coming graduating class are both students who are immersed in music. Now, if we know this, and if the principal's bottom line, if education's bottom line is that students do well in school, you would think that in our schools we make certain that our curriculum is enriched by music. Music, in my estimation, should be at the core of the curriculum, because music is math, it's social studies, it's language, it's all of these things, it's culture, it's a way of getting children to build their confidence, it's a way of developing self-discipline, it's a way of being collaborative, cooperating with others, being able to present yourself. I've seen the shyest of students, after they've been in my class, now they're able to speak in front of others, they're able to sing in front of others, they know what they want to do. And I think this is, it's almost a miracle drug, if you will, but it's definitely God-given. It's music is the language of everyone. I don't care where you're from. It will bind you. It will hold you together.
Well, that's true. That's very inspiring. Everything you said now, but now I know you talk about a lot about music. I'm going to go back. You said you didn't know, because at the Prince Center we deal with a lot of people that doesn't see that well. Now, do you ever have any experience for kids that doesn't have no vision at all in your class?
Yes, and we have had children without vision, and I teach children without vision by rote, because in some schools we do have manipulatives for students who are blind, or are legally blind,
Yeah.
or are able to manipulate in Braille. But because students who are without sight, somehow their ear develops even better than those of us who see very well, and you can teach them a phrase or a motif or a passage, and they will retain it even better. And I've seen this with autistic children too. Autistic children have a very good sense of tune, of being in tune, or being in a key. I have one young man who is 12 years old, and if I play something for him that he has learned in a certain key, and I play it in another key, he will tell me, "That's not the right key, Mrs. Simmons." And then I say, "Oh, that's right, okay." So then we go back to the key, and he'll point out, because their senses are different.
Yes,
Their
yes,
whole
definitely.
pattern is, yeah.
But that's great. You have a chance to work with them, because as you said, because those kids that doesn't have the sight, but they don't have the sight as we talk about, but they have their own sight.
Yes.
Because the touching skill and the hearing skills it's better.
Right.
And but that's good, because and we have a lot of we have people from agency that watching us now. We have some people from university where I went to school watching us now, and we have a lot of patients too that legally blind. Some of them lost their vision. watching the show, or if they are not watching it now, they're going to watch it on Friday, on channel 115 on Cable Vision, and that's good information you are
Right.
providing us.
Right.
Now, before we move to the next segment, I'm going to ask you a basic question. Usually they call you. I know you talk about education as a performer, as a as a hard worker, your ambition. What it is?
Well, here again, I was fortunate to have parents who believed that we could do anything we set our minds to do, and I think the mindset is from my family, from what I passed on to my children, be it my own children or even in school, is that there is no such word as can't.
Okay.
That's a fabrication. That's a word that we need to strike from our lips, because the power is in the tongue. So I feel that there's probably nothing that cannot be done in life. If you believe that it can be done, then you can see. If you can see it mentally, spiritually, then it can be accomplished.
Yes.
And like as you mentioned before, I was very blessed to have had a variety of experiences in education, and even outside of education. I thought I was going to be a marimbist across the world, and I packed my instrument up and took it to Spain, and there we were in Barcelona. And we got these boxes, because the marimba comes in 12 parts. We got these boxes, we took them out and put them on the side, and we hailed the taxista, and the taxista comes by and says, "Mamma mia," because no one cab can take all of this equipment. It took us 3 taxis to get to our place where we were performing. And that's when I said, I should have learned to play the flute or the violin.
Yeah, we have a picture of everything you said, and we going to share them with the people that watching.
Yeah.
You see, we don't talk about your age. We're not going to say that. But I always say that, you see, I feel it's a pleasure, for me to be able to interview you, and you can share your experience, your knowledge, not only to me, to everyone watching the network. You can continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. And I've even shared that with my teachers, because when you become a supervisor, now you're working with teachers. You're teaching teachers. You're helping them to understand what it is they can do. You're guiding them along. I'll never get. One of my teachers felt that junior high school students could not sing in 4-part harmony, and I said, no, let's stop, because I had to give her the example. When I taught in Springfield Gardens Junior High School, our kids sang in 8-part harmony. I find there's nothing young people cannot do. If you tell them we're going to the sky, they just want to know how to get there. And they have to be convinced, because in many cases children have been taught, well, you can't do this. This is not for your culture. Who do you think you are? We're not training our kids to do menial things. We want to train our students to become owners of things, to be entrepreneurs. If they want to go to Carnegie Hall, if they want to sing at the Met, if they want to do spirituals at the various workshops where we're having, in fact, there's a great one happening this weekend. It's incredibly important that students know you can do anything. And we're not going to have an audience for those who are becoming the opera singers, or becoming the classical artists, or artists of other kinds of music, if we haven't taught our young people to enjoy it.
That's good. But I have a question for you. But it's not my question. It's one of people that watching us that asks you, because usually when they watch your show, we talk about low vision, blind, and stuff like that. That's what the question is. Will the low vision facility be offering some music input along with the therapy? I guess that's not for you.
No, but it should.
Yeah.
No,
The same person said I love your enthusiasm and love for what you do.
Ah, thank you. Yes, and I do love what I do.
Yeah.
But I think we have to reach everybody. I don't care if they're blind, and even children who are hard of hearing. Because there was a child in one of the classes that was deaf, but she could feel the vibrations, and when she felt the vibrations, she got excited about even feeling the vibrations of music. So it goes beyond our imagination what music can do for a student who is either blind or is having problems with sight, as I did, and we didn't know
But
that.
like you said, we should. I guess. Are we going to get your commitment?
Oh, I'm committed.
Okay.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, we'll put it on paper.
Oh, we will definitely put that on paper. One of the things that I like about the organization that I represent, and I just got elected to the president of the National Association
We're coming with that.
We're coming with that. But I want. Well, then we'll wait till we get to that part,
Yes,
because
what
workshops
we're going
are.
to do, that's a big part. You know, as I said to you, Miss Anne Mary Woodley Whitson. She was able
Hutley Simmons.
Simmons, sorry.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right.
She was able hat. And now the next part is as the president of the NAM.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss that.
Very good.
Vision loss can greatly affect one's quality of life. However, there are low vision devices and technology that can help patients maintain a functional quality of life. Prince Center for the Visually Impaired specializes in helping patients find the right technology for their specific needs. For more information, call us at 516-200-3850 or stop by our office at 550 West Merrick Road, Suite 3, Valley Stream, New York, 11580.
Is your vision giving you pause for concern? Have you had several surgeries or eye injections in the past? Are you using eye drops? Are prescription glasses working for you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, tune in to get pertinent information from me, Lady Day, and Dr. Prince, a low vision and blind rehabilitation specialist. We are live on the PCVI network to give education, information, and other solutions. Remember to subscribe to our network to get notifications.
Well, we are back, and as we said, now we're going to talk about Miss Anne Mary as the president of NAM. When I said NAM, I want you to, because doing my little research I did, you will correct me if I'm wrong, and I saw this is the country oldest organization dedicated to the preservation, encouragement, and advocacy of all genres of African music.
African American music, yes. The African diaspora. The music of, and it's no secret that the music of African Americans is truly the American music, and not discounting the Native American had their own music, but the next music that we know of that's really Americana is music from the African American experience. Yes, it was born in 1919, in days when we were called Negro, which is why it's called the National Association of Negro Musicians. Yeah, that's why the name was. And there were two people who were very concerned about bringing unity to music. One was Henry Grant, and the other was Nora Holt. Henry Grant was a composer, a band conductor, and Holt was a writer for the Chicago Defender. Henry was in Washington, D.C., and Holt was in Chicago. But they made those connections because they realized that unless we organize and support our own music, no one else would. So in July, I think it was July 29th of 1919, that union came about, and the National Association of Negro Musicians became chartered. And they're for those of us who are members, there are so many benefits. You know, the membership, number one, is not that expensive. Uh, Number two, the we get to there are two conferences a year. There's one regional conference, and then there's the national convention, and it rotates around the country. We have
That's
five.
when we want to be clear for everyone. It's a nationwide organization.
Yes, yes.
And where is the headquarter office? Is in
It's in Chicago. Yes.
Okay.
And it's like we rotate like there are five regions. There's the central, the eastern, the southeastern, the southwestern, the western, and then comes back to. So our next convention after the one that's in the eastern region now, which will take place in Philadelphia, July 12th through the 16th, then it goes down to the southeastern region.
Okay.
But we offer so much for our people. There are mentorships. We have scholarships. We have scholarship competitions. There are workshops. There are master classes. There is a
Like all these benefit you mentioned, they for your member or for anybody?
anybody. The members, the members benefit is that number one, they're paying it forward,
Okay.
and they're bringing their young people. They're bringing their talents and their skills. If they are able to mentor, that's what they do. If they are performers, they get to perform. Those who are outside our organization get to come and listen and to enjoy and learn. Of course, the goal is to have people join the organization. It's 100 years old, and we're going into our 101st year, and yet our name is not known throughout the country. And one of the goals that, one of my personal goals, is to make certain that our brand is out there. So whether you are in South Dakota, where there are very few of us living, you know about the National Association of Negro Musicians. But we're going to saturate the country. Number two, aside from getting our name out there so everyone knows about the National Association of Negro Musicians, number two is we want a platform and a proposal that every superintendent of every public and private school has that states why music should be included in their curriculum, and how it's really criminal that our students are not being offered that in the inner city, in our major inner cities, in our large cities. It's hard to find a school that has a full music program, and yet our students are talented. They're musical, and they can learn anything. And when they learn music, that will help them learn everything else. I'll never forget in the day when Lindsay was the mayor of the city of New York. There was a budget crunch, and so those leaders that were decided that, well, in order to save money in our schools, we'll cut out the music programs. And as you know, there are 35 districts in New York City, at least there were at that time. So I was in District 29, and all the principals they gathered together and said, all right, so if you cut your band, cut your orchestra, and music teachers were being recertified in special ed and in other classes and other subject areas because they realized we're not going to have a job. Two principals decided, no, that's our signature. We're not cutting out music. The interesting thing about that is, so the schools, the 5 junior high schools, there were 5. 2 of them decided we're not cutting it out. Our reading scores were higher than the 3 other junior high schools where they took out the music program. And so I'm going downtown to the Board of Ed, which was in Brooklyn at that time, and saying, what are you doing to our kids? You're taking music out of our schools, so our scores they're going down, they're not going up. And yet you've got IS 59, you've got 231, our scores are going up. And it bothers me because we've been preaching this sermon over and over again from Plato, before Plato, how important music is to learning. And I often ask them, so who's listening? So it's very important for me and for our organization to let every superintendent throughout this country know that unless you include music in the curriculum, particularly at the core of the curriculum, you're not going to have the kind of success that we need. Now, some people are very comfortable with our young people not being able to read and do math and do the higher order thinking skills that they need to develop. It's all right because they don't feel that we belong up there anyway. But then there are those of us who bear the burden. We need to sit at the table like everybody else does. Give us a fair chance. Let our students have the opportunity to learn and grow. It'll only be a benefit to the whole country. Not only to them as a culture, but to the whole country.
Now, you don't think the reason they may, I'm just asking you a question a lot of people may ask. The reason they may don't think, they may think it's like a distraction, like well, I will not say that in the country because some of the school doesn't have any problem for the kids play football, play basketball, stuff like that. They still see music as a leisure activity.
Yes, they do. They see it as it's nice for kids, but not necessary. It's they see it as if they have music once a year, that's fine. And they'll bring in an agency from Carnegie Hall or from Lincoln Center to give them music for an hour or two, and that's good. Or they'll do a residency. So they'll bring somebody in for 6 weeks, and they say, "Oh yeah, our kids have music." They do not understand, and I'm not sure why they don't understand because there's just too much research. The research is clear that when a student is immersed, not exposed to music. You know the old saying is the only thing you get with exposure is pneumonia. So we're not talking about exposure where they hear and they say, "Oh, I don't like that stuff." But if they're immersed, so they understand the rudiments of music, the foundation of music, and they go through they learn to love it. I'll give you a case in point. When I went to IS 59, and I followed some great teachers. There was Dr. Carol Samuel Buchanan, there was Dr. Battipaglia, and then I came along. The course size was 275 students. So I couldn't teach them all in one classroom, so I had maybe 100 students per class, or 131 was my largest class. We learned, we learned all the major works, be by Mendelssohn, by Bach, by Brahms, whatever. But I remember teaching the students How Lovely Is Thy Dwelling Place, which is a requiem from the Requiem by Brahms. And at the beginning of the year, it was very difficult for the students to concentrate on it because it had layers and things going in different directions, and it called for a lot of breath support. And the students they really wanted to sing "Fill My Cup, Let It Overflow," which is a nice song. Mm-hmm. But it calls for no thought. You don't have to look at the music to learn it, even though I needed them to look at the music and learn it. At the end of the year, of course, we learned it. We sang it at Colden Auditorium because all of our concerts were at Colden Auditorium because we needed 2,200 seats, number one, for the audience, and a big stage that would hold 275 students. Well, here's the thing that really makes me happy. So after the concert is over, we're bringing the kids back to the auditorium, and we held the music class in the auditorium for about a week after that. And I said, "All right, students, we have to sing something. What would you like to sing?" "Oh, we want to sing How Lovely Is Thy Dwelling Place." I said, "You're kidding me. The song that you hated is the song you want to sing?" "No, we don't hate it." But they did not understand until they actually experienced what it took to sing that song. And then you give them the history. We want the students to research who was Brahms, what is a requiem. We're in the key of E flat. What does that mean?
Okay, I have a few questions for you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, the first one said, Miss Hadley Simon, did the NAM face any racial injustice in the beginning? Maybe this person refer because you said the organization been there since since 1999,
1919.
and we still, a lot of people still doesn't know the organization. And with all the scholarship you guys provide, with so many things you do.
Now, that's our fault.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
But you can answer this
All right.
like if you don't.
All right. No, that's our fault. We were so busy making certain that our people were making music and they were on stage and they were supported. We didn't always look back and say, let me bring this city into what we're doing. Let me reach out to that city. Let me reach out to these universities. Let me find these young people. And that's what we're doing now. One of my mandates, let me not call it a mandate, even though it is. One of my initiatives is to adopt a school's music program. Now, there will be some schools that have none, and we're going to have to replace that. So what does that mean? Let's take B Sharp, for example. B Sharp is one of the branches in Queens. It's called B Sharp Queens Long Island branch of NAM. So they reach out to a school like 238 or to IS 8, where the programs are not rich in music. They want to be rich. Certainly the teachers who are in there want their program to be rich. But we go in and we speak with the principal and we speak with the teachers and we say, what can we do to help your music program? Often they say, well, if you give us a couple $1,000, that will help us. A couple $1,000 we don't have. And we're working on that. That's another piece of the pie. But we can mentor students. We can attend their concerts. We can invite those students to come to one of our concerts. We can ask if the teacher will let their students perform on one of our programs, be it the MLK program, the Black History program. March is Music in Our Schools Month. It's also Women's History Month. We want to connect them with what it is that we do to help to bring them along. And many times we bring the teachers along as well, because many of our music teachers have become so discouraged. It's so much easier to let the students sing the songs they are always hearing every single day than to give them something rich from the music literature. And my thing is, let's not keep our kids in the box. Let's throw away the box and give them everything. So we have to encourage the teachers. So when we say we want to adopt a school, we're really helping that teacher realize his or her dreams. We're helping those students develop as musicians.
You have even more questions.
Oh.
Because they want this question, but I know. The next question is supposed to be what kind of music they teach. I know the other question is, do the organization support private school?
Actually, we support all schools. We really do. We really do. What kind of music do we teach? We teach all music. Now, as you mentioned earlier, the National Association is an advocate for all genres of music from the African American experience. And that includes, now, mind you, we have been heavy on the opera side. And we are slightly as heavy on spiritual sides, the spirituals. But we have done blues, which led to jazz. We've done spirituals. We have gospel music. And if you notice, all countries around us, as the poet said, they done took my blues and gone. They're singing our gospel music. There's a choir in South Korea that sings gospel. And if you weren't looking at the TV screen, you would swear that was us people of color up there singing. They've done jazz. Japan has one of the most fantastic jazz groups in the world. I went to Germany. When the first time I went to Germany, I was invited to a family's home. They're standing around the piano singing spirituals. So we have to be committed to what are the blues? What is that his history all about? Jazz, New Orleans jazz, Chicago jazz, cool jazz, hot jazz, all of the genres, the various phases of jazz. So it's important that our young people know it all. And when I taught music appreciation, they always give you a book, but it's always concentrating on European composers. It's important that they know European composers because they're in this world. but they have to know their own music as well. So it was important to me to make certain they knew blues, could
You're going to
write the
st-
blues.
I'm thinking you're going to stay here forever. We are getting a lot of questions for you.
Oh,
Because, oh, sorry. The next question is, what about hip hop? Hip hop. Hip hop
hip hop is something that, I am not going
for
to.
young people.
Young people can do almost hip hop on their own. That's not something that we teach them.
Okay,
It's something they do.
oh, okay. Most likely, you focus only on young people because we have a couple of adults. We have a couple of musicians. Actually, we have a musician. We have Sheila Degra. She composes music, but she wants to know. She has music. She has a few music. She composes. She film. They all want support. If your organization
Absolutely.
can support them.
Absolutely. Um, at all of our conventions, we present a composer and we let them go through their music at the
Okay.
convention, and which is interesting because in the eastern region alone, we have about 4 composers. And at least 2 of them have come to me personally and said, I'd like to know if I can present my music in, in Philadelphia this coming July. Fortunately, I also have a very fine convention planner, program planner, Dr. Sylvia Hollifield, who is working out all those workshops because there has to be a place for young and old composers. You've got, for example, a child like Christopher Flood, who's now at Westminster Choir College and won the J.W. Pepper Composition Award. Then you have people who are younger than me, but who have done extensive works, and they also need a place. Yes, I personally concentrate on young people because I want us to have as I move off the scene, I've got to bring somebody to come
Yes.
behind me. But no, I don't believe in throwing out the baby with the bath. We have adults who are extremely good in vocal pedagogy. They're instrumentalists, they're composers, they're mentors, they do master classes and workshops. So we do use everybody. Can we use all of our composers in one convention? No. When I'm able to address the financial
Because
piece of it,
as you said that on the network now, I get a lot of people keep asking if they want to be part. Are you ready for that? I have a group called um, Basa Shango. I hope he said he will send his music for you to see as you hear. I want to be able to go get this music. He said he's going to send it. And
good.
and I have Sheila DeGraff, and I have another doctor that's focused on music for health. You know, I know he's writing music. I didn't get in touch with him. This is all people that would like to have a push, a father.
Mhm.
But he has a show called Evangelization to Thailand.
Mhm.
Now he does music
Right.
because we have all these people. You have pastor, him, his kids. They all play music. When you say those things, all of them will want to show. I know not all of them can show. I don't want them to take the octopus, try to prevent you to go. But I guess there is some elimination processes. There is a way, or all of them, if they want to be able to get that exposure at the convention, you will have place for all of them. I know you are the
Right.
president, but
Yeah, right, right. And of course I am also on the planning committee, but they need to always send us a proposal because if we
Okay.
can't use them for the July convention, there are other areas where we can use them.
okay.
It's not 2 things that happen during the year. In the past, that's been the regional. Our regional is going to be in Wilmington, but no, and our convention is going to be in Philadelphia. But there should be something going on all the time, which is why my focus is, as I said, it's in branding, getting our name out there. It's in getting young people involved and teachers so they know about this organization and they become members of it. We need at least 5,000 members. That's what we need.
Okay, now that's what we're doing now, because a lot of people are watching you on the network, and you're doing that. I have other question I'm going to read for you.
Okay.
I guess you're going to spend the whole afternoon. This question said, do the NAM embrace Black Caribbean music?
Yes, we do.
But why we don't have compa? I don't see any Asian, any compa music.
Yeah, no, he ain't cool about music. All right,
Why?
all right. This I can't say.
I'm just advocate for my
Right,
for
right,
where I
right.
come from.
Okay.
There
It,
is compa. There is what they call, I don't know how you pronounce it, the Racine music. You know those music. You know, there is a lot of music. I don't see. I see some debate on the network right now. Some people try to correct when you say African American is jazz only. It's just that's.
No,
I
no.
want you to answer to make that clarification.
right, no. The music that was born in this country we're talking about.
Okay.
There is Caribbean music, but I'm talking about the music that was born in this country was the blues, the jazz, the spirituals, but we also have an appreciation for music that is performed by African Americans, and that may be Caribbean music, that may be music from Europe. So no, and as our roots, because there's a group in Bermuda that's getting ready to. There's a branch is interested. Some people are interested in opening a branch in Bermuda. So when we leave the states here and we go to Jamaica and to Haiti or to Puerto Rico or to Santo Domingo,
Someone
then
already asked, and the Asian wood music.
the what?
He said the Asian wood
The Haitian, yeah,
music.
yeah,
Are you
absolutely.
there already?
No, we're not there. We're getting there.
You want to be there?
I want to be there.
Or you here?
Because here's the thing, we're looking at the African diaspora, so that includes Haiti, that includes the Dominican Republic, that includes all of us, that includes Africa. All right, and there are some countries even in I know outside of Brazil. I went to an area that was only black people, which proves that blacks were on this side before Columbus ever heard about it. Of course, he got here. He didn't discover America. He got lost and didn't know where he was. But that's a political thing, and it's also a historical fact. But no, we're interested in expanding it. But as long as our name is, and I'm sure it's going to evolve, it is still the National Association of Negro Musicians, pretty much based on what we've done in this country.
Okay, now I'm not going.
But we're not
I'm
limited.
going
We're not
to
going to be
skip-
limited.
I'm going to skip some of the question. One of the question I think that's very important for everyone watching this show now. This person asked, "Or do we become a member?" I'm thinking that's a good question.
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
And the person who asked that question, I need them to get another 50 people to join on this. There are two ways one can do that. You can, they can contact me personally because it depends on where they live. For example, if they live in Brooklyn, we have a Brooklyn chapter.
Okay.
If they live in Chicago, there's a Chicago chapter. If they live in Washington, D.C., there are chapters there. There are chapters all over the country. So if they would need to go to a chapter, and what they can do is they can contact the NAM office by going online.
Yeah,
And
you don't have the number. Okay.
yeah, if they go on nam.org
Okay.
and look under memberships, they can contact Dorothy Kennedy, who is the executive director.
Mhm.
And if they give their name and their address, then she can point them to the right chapter, or the right, not chapter, the right branch in the city and the state in which they live.
Okay. Okay, that's good. And I hope AOIT going to put that information on the screen for us. But before we take another break, I have a question from a doctor, from a physician.
Okay.
But he's a surgeon. But he's Asian too. I'm just reading what he said. I don't know. I don't think it's a question, but he said we are in the wood of voodoo. Many musical rhythm who can help health. You know what is voodoo?
Yes, I've heard of voodoo. I don't know much about it, but I've heard about it.
That's where we are now. That they want to know if the organization will support this type of organization too.
That question has never, or that subject has never been a part of our discussion.
But he's a physician. Maybe he knows. He said that can help health, but music help health also. And or history, stuff like that. Where we come from.
Right.
Right. But this is a lot of questions that you're going to get, because if you try to spread the word of the organization everywhere, a lot of people going to ask this type of question.
Right.
You know, hopefully you will have some. Yeah, there is a lot of Asian band.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of Asian group. There is a different type of music. The
Mm-hmm.
French mixed with the voodoo, with the all together stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Now, what we're going to take a quick. We're going to take a break. I want you, the guy. I hope you get the music for the person that asked the question. You're going to, as you put the music for Miss Anne Mary, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Fica bom. Pronto, já.
Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça pas vle di nou gen men nam. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça pas vle di nou sot nan même zone. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça pas vle di nou gen men nam. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça pas vle di nou sot nan même zone. Les mwen rive la ville au cap. Madame nan di m gade chevaille. Chevaille sans blague, chevaille moun fou. Baka di pita Bob Marley. C'est l'autre maman, c'est l'autre papa, c'est l'autre santai moi. Manger créole, parler créole, fait l'amour en créole, tendez. Créole, parler créole, comprendre. Ça parle di nou gen même nom. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça parle di nou sot nan même zone. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça parle di nou gen même nom. Créole parler, créole comprendre. Ça parle di nou sot nan même zone. Lem débarquer la matinée. Ti maladi m'pa gen panique. C'est moun la Caraïbe nouye. Mais moi les autres n'ont pas parlé. C'est l'anglionnage marronnage, c'est l'un pays mêlé. Créolo, revendiquer, m'lever, camper, fait changement en créole. Créolo, la Guadeloupe, la Caraïbe, c'est l'Afrique. Créolo, revendiquer, m'lever, camper, fait changement en créole.
Okay, we are back. um, we get a lot of questions, and I know all of you been asking question. I know all of you want to get to, because there is a lot of musicians that who are watching the show tonight. They want to be part of the organization, and one thing I'm going to tell them, and all other musical options, whether compa, whether voodoo, they can be addressed. And I'm going to let Miss Anne Marie to give the information. Or the first thing you have to do, because she give the information out to become a membership of the organization. The membership fee is not that much, and you will be able to learn as much you can. And as she said, they support their organization. Let me repeat it about the goal again. Not they dedicated to the preservation, encouragement, advocate. I guess financial also.
Yes.
Financial. They will finance you. If the music is, but it fit well with what they are focusing, and this is what this organization is all about. If you never heard about this organization, just Google it. As you look at in the screen, some of the information is the IT is writing the information, get the information, because we are here to educate you. We whatever information, we are blessed to have Miss Anne Marie had Lee Simmons with us tonight, and I'm going to let you give more information, or people can join the organization, or they can contact you. Which way that can be done?
Right. For those who want to join the organization, in order for me to point them to the right branch, it would be great if they would contact me personally. My email handle is probably going to be on the screen, but it's namprez@gmail.com, and Nam being N-A-N-M, Prez, P-R-E-Z, @gmail.com. And they just need to give me their name, the city in which they live, and then I can relay back to them which branch is closest to them.
Okay. I believe that's the email that's showing here, if everything is good for you.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, good job.
That is correct.
Well, I know we talk a lot, but one of your goals, you said, is advocate any type of African music. Now, when you said advocate,
and the advocacy is not just for the music. For example, the people who join NAM, some of them are musicians, some of them are teachers, some of them are doctors. So Dr. Prince, you may join NAM.
I'm interested, but I'm most like interested with the Prince Center, because we have a lot of we have you see those big low vision room we have. We will offer it if it's possible for some of our patients that would love to learn.
Yes.
In music. As you can see, we already have the director of the network want her daughter to be to.
You're right. He wants him. He wants him to join. Yeah.
It's not too late for me to learn music.
No, not at all.
You understand
or to
that?
become a part of the organization. Advocacy. For those people who are not musicians but want to join, they want to join because they'll get on the phone and they'll make telephone calls for us. They may know something about website design. They may know how to develop flyers for us. They may know how to stuff envelopes. There's so many things that we need that don't call for. What happens many times is the person who's doing the concert is also doing the publicity, is also selling the tickets, is also writing the letters. So advocates support our musicians by taking that burden off of them, but yet they feel a part of it because they played an important role. So these are the kind of advocates that we need. There are some people who know how to raise money. In fact, we're looking now for a crackerjack grant writer because of our need. In order for us to do the kind of things that we do, at the minimum, we need $250,000. At the minimum. Now, is that doable? Yes. I mean, we have all kinds of people out there who are billionaires who could really, really support us and do this without a problem. And we're asking them for their support as well. Now, many of them are saying they're not taking on any new projects. But we know that they can still do this even though they're not taking on new projects. We need to know how to get to them and get that word out. But I believe that, and we have a wonderful group of people who are on our grant writing committee, and we have letters that are going out because we're looking also for one-time donors. If I had 97 donors who knew how to raise $1,000 each, we would have, at least we'd have the seed, the $100,000 that we need. Because I've already raised $3,000, but that's not a lot of money when you're talking. It's more than we had before. Don't misunderstand me, but we need to raise $100,000 by May. So we're sending out these letters every single day to people who will say, "Well, gee, I have $1,000. I'll donate it." Or they may say, "I know 10 people who can give $100 each." But the goal is for a quarter million dollars.
Because what happened nowadays, what I see with the donation. It's people donated. Maybe I'm just going to talk. Maybe if you pick 3 or 4 patients, I would say young kids from the placenta that doesn't see, you can show them this is what the organization is doing.
Right.
People want to see this now.
Right.
Now, because so many non-profit organizations, so many people is asking. That's why a lot of those big donor now, just because people is asking big organization like you that doing big job, that doing all this amazing job. That's why this thing happened. But I guess you still have time, like you said.
Yeah,
there is a lot of people because that may have that skill.
Absolutely.
That can
support us.
That can support you.
Right.
You here, if you on the network,
right.
If you have that skill, I know there is a lot of you have a lot of skill. You can always.
Right.
You have the information. You can always contact the organization. Now, if people want to donate, or they can do that.
There's 2 ways they can do it. They can either go on the NAM.org page and go to corporate giving, or contributors. There's a drop down for giving, and they can give that way online, or they can send their donations. They want to do it snail mail. That works as well. And then they can send it to our office, and I think that's going to be on the screen too. It should be directed to Dorothy Canady, Canady. Post Office Box 188, Madison, Illinois, and that's Matteson, Matteson, Illinois, and zip code is 60443. And they can always contact me. They can call NAM Pres if they want to make a presentation at one of our meetings for NAM. They can do that as well.
Okay.
I wanted to inject something. You mentioned what music does for the blind. We have a lady on our board. Her name is Arvis Jones, who has used music. She has done musical therapy. You mentioned that earlier,
Yes.
and she's been very successful using music therapy. So this is also in the body of our letters that we send out. But I will concentrate more on sight because so many.
Yes, because I guarantee you, I'm not, you're on the network. If you partner with the placenta, I'm just guarantee you, and that's we're non for profit too.
Right.
Okay, that serve the people that lost the vision, and you can show because what keep placenta is a lot of people that already lost their vision, and they have a little bit of vision. They're already discouraged, and sometimes we use music as form of therapy for them because with music, when they listen to I use music as to develop their auditory skill in a better way for orientation and mobility, especially mobility.
Right.
I use music too when they're dancing, and as for to use what they call eye-hand body coordination movement to look at where the vision is.
Right.
I use music, as a form of therapy, like you said.
Right.
Now, when you get someone that did have a lot of issue, and you'll be able specifically for the stroke patient that that lost their sight, and as with music, with rehab, you be able to get them. And when you get this type of people, one family can give you that minimum you're asking.
Right.
Because we are fortunate at the end of the year, this year, we didn't have a law office. One of the client of the law office, the husband did lose when before he died, he lost his sight, and she knows how big this type of organization are.
Right.
You know, she did give us like $3,000. You know, just one person as a gift, which did help a lot of people. Like I said, there is stuff we can do together, but I don't know. As the president, I can just say that to you. But the reason I said that is the way, as a non-for-profit, when we try to raise money, people now start want to see.
Yes.
They want to.
Yeah. What needs are we meeting? Yeah.
That means you show them all these wonderful kids. You'll be able to make being successful in life. You know, they share their experience.
Right.
You know,
Right.
stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
And you will see 1, 2, 3 because there is a lot of other agency that would love to get your services also. And I know that exists. That will be blessed if you focus. Maybe you understand. This thing is be there. We said you have until March. Hopefully, there's a lot that can be done. Hopefully, you'll be able to achieve your goals.
Right. Right.
And I have one of our I have one of my mentor, and that compliment you.
Oh.
She's a professor also.
Oh.
When I said my mentor, she was my professor and my advisor. You know, stuff like that. That's Miss Lucy, and she teach also. She used to teach at CUNY.
Oh, okay.
And she teaches in Haiti, so she's in Haiti. She's an educator like you.
All right. Is she in town?
She's in town.
She can join. She can join it. She can join
But
our organization.
You here? Okay, Miss Lucy, you here? You can join the organization, and you are welcome.
Absolutely.
And I believe, as she was a minister of education in Haiti. You know, all the education stuff like that. This is when you get this type of people in your organization. This is
yes, that is so helpful. That is so meaningful.
You know, that's why I read her comment when she said compliment on your guest, which is good because.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But me, it's a blessing to have you.
Thank you, thank you. We have done not nearly enough, but I know the Elmont School, high school, where I served as the music coordinator. We sent bags and boxes of. Well, we sent over water, of course. We sent over clothes, and they do it every year. The United Methodist Church has also done the same thing. And our organization is always connected to these organizations so that we feel that they've had disaster. What can we do? So we try to hook in with those organizations that are doing things, and the goods actually get to the people, because you know sometimes you send things over there and they were not helped. So and there is also a pastor, Bishop Jacqueline McCullough, who did a whole big push to get things over to Haiti. Now they didn't do anything musical except that she did have a couple of CDs that she did that the people there seemed to enjoy, but so our connections they even go beyond music. Yes, we're concentrating on music. And what it does for the human soul, the human being, and what it can do for all of our young people. I just want to see this whole thing revolutionized, this whole educational system revolutionized by having music at the core of the curriculum, because we need to have young people who are going to be sitting in the audience appreciating the music, and then we need to have people on stage playing it. When you look at our orchestras, you look and search for a person of color on stage. And yet we have young people who really play well. Why aren't they on stage? So these are things that we're up against right now, and things that I'm tackling.
Okay, maybe that's why I guess we have to get a platform, spread the word, because we have to work hard.
Yes,
and
it's work. It's work. Right. This is not a rank, position, or title. It's only work. Yes. That's all it is, and it's all volunteer. Right. None of us get paid for what we do, but we do it because we're paying it forward. No. Someone helped me when I was coming along, aside from my mother, So what I have to do, and I'll never forget what, and I'll just give this one anecdote story. Back in my day, all of us were taking some kind of lessons. It was either violin or piano. We were all doing something, or voice lessons. And we were coming out of church, and this one parent said to my mother, isn't it amazing the sacrifices we make for our children? And my mother said to her, sacrifice? Sacrifice? This is no sacrifice. My children didn't ask to be born. God gave them to me so that I could impart everything that I could possibly impart to them. I was sitting in the back seat of the car, and I was 12 years old. Yeah, I was 12 years old. I was going to be 13. It was September, and I was going to be 13 in December because my birthday is the 24th of December. And when I got home, I said, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to take care of you the way you took care of me. And my mother said, oh, no, 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 no. You reach back and you take care of someone coming behind you the way I took care of you. And that's what I've lived by from that day to this day.
Well, I guess I still have a lot to learn from you, but we could spend the whole night.
I know.
Yeah, but but every show has the beginning
And the
it has
end.
the end.
Right.
Now, is there anything you would like to address? I didn't ask you.
No, I just want to, aside from the three things that we need to do, the branding so the whole country knows we are here and what we're about and what we're for and what we preach, and of course making certain that we get into our schools, making certain there's a proposal for every single district, and then of course the other thing is I want to strengthen all of our branches because NAM is the tree, but all these branches across the country need to be healthy so that the tree, the mother, stays healthy, so that NAM stays healthy. And we can do that particularly if we can raise the kind of monies that we need to raise.
I'm thinking there is a lot of, I don't know if you're, but that's why getting a lot of a music organization, whatever, involved is good because you guys need to produce, not only write book, magazine, spread the word,
Yes.
do more research,
Yes.
because they want to see those things and partner with some of those stroke center, and some of the therapists
Right.
that use music as a tool as
Right.
for rehab,
Right.
and it's good when you get all these professionals come out and talk and get some of the school, if you get one or this school, and to show if the school, some of the kids being successful, because nowadays a lot of kids doesn't want to learn that much either too, because any
You
class
have to
try,
convince them, yes, you have to brainwash these young people.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, sometimes they're not getting this from the home. Now, if the culture of the young people they were getting is you go to school to get an education, you better get it, then the child has a better chance. But if the parents didn't get it, many of them may not push their children. Not all of them. There are some parents who have told their children, listen, I wasn't able to get it, but I'm going to make certain you get the education. So we even have to work with parent-teacher associations. That's another critical piece that NAM is addressing. But you talked about magazines. We have a young man, Vinroy Brown, who is starting our professional journal. Now, we do have a newsletter, but the newsletter is farmed out to members. But he's doing a journal, a research journal that people can use if they need to do some studying for their classes in the university. They can go to this journal and actually extrapolate information from there so they can be successful in writing their theses or their term papers. Or so that's critical. We really, our dream is beyond what I can imagine. And fortunately, I have a very, very good team. A crackerjack, and I shouldn't be, the crackerjack is not the word that we need to use for every situation, but our executive secretary is top of the notch. We have a treasurer, she's fantastic. And then we have members of the board. Even our former presidents. because you're talking about Dr. Willis Patterson, who taught in Ann Arbor. You talk about Dr. David Morrow, who was on staff with Dr. Uzi Brown at Morehouse. You're talking about Dr. Roland Carter, who is a composer and an incredible conductor of his own. Byron Smith, who lives on, and these are living presidents. Byron Smith is on the West Coast, and he is a marvelous musician. These men are absolutely incredible. And I'm riding on their backs in terms of what they can do musically. What I bring to the table is the educational piece that I think needs to take place all across this country, and people need to know that NAM is here to make certain that it happens.
Okay, good. Now, the last question we're going to ask you, that's one of the guests, they asked you, can your guests visit PCVI again?
We'd be glad to. And we can bring some young people in to sing and play, and we can bring some people my age in here to sing and play.
Okay, well that's good. We will take that in consideration. But they definitely, I know I have two notebook coming out, and when they come out, hopefully I don't have to worry about musicians.
Right? Oh no, you do not.
Well, like I said, every show has a beginning, and I know a lot of you will be happy to keep my guests and listen to her. We can always you can listen to the show again to YouTube. You can listen to it to Facebook. You can watch it on Cable Vision on Friday between 1 to 3. You can also, if you have any smart TV, a Samsung, you can watch it. And you can watch it to Vimeo. And there is all different way you can watch it again. And hopefully we will tell you when the next time we're going to have a Miss Anne-Marie Woodley Simon. And your last word?
My last word is, again, it's what music has done for me. As a child, I stuttered badly. I didn't speak until I was 13 years old. And I was afraid they would ask me a question that I have to try to get it out. But as I began to sing, it helped correct some of that stuttering. I noticed that, and of course, it's got to be a nervous, it's the way the neurons in the brain work. And of course, I never went to a therapist. Back in the day, you didn't have those. But
the technology
music
was not advanced as
no,
now.
no, right.
Now they see the importance of music. It was not like that
No,
before.
that's true.
Okay, well,
But thank you for having me. I enjoyed the show very, very much.
hopefully we'll have you again.
Thank you.
You know, and well, tomorrow we're going to have another guest, but you're going to be happy with that guest. That will be an attorney, and he's a disability right attorney. He currently has a case in India against the Indiana state, for all the disabled people, and the case he has is endorsed by the Commission for the Blind, by the National Federation for the Blind. The reason I'm talking about this by Medicaid, Medicare, and several other states already on board. He will have a chance live from where he's in Virginia. He will be, I believe, that Attorney Andrew show, and he will be live with us and from Virginia. That will be from PCVI Network on Your Community. Hopefully, prepare your questions for disability, because one of the issues he has is people with disability. Sometimes when they cross the street, driver doesn't even want to stop for them, and sometimes they may see someone walking with the can, and they think the person try to explore the environment. They think the person going to fellow stop bother the person, and this is in his cases is very interesting cases, and hopefully tomorrow I believe that's from 6 to 7 or yes, that's 6 to 7. It will be live. Hopefully everyone will be on board, and we will let you know the next time we will have a chance to see you, Miss Anne-Marie.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Thank you to have you. It's the blessing. You see, I don't ask for your age. And this is what we have for you, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Contemplatris dein volto, il mio friend Bianca, di che guidi Francia bene. No, amor per me. Doppio presso a finir l'auroriam bianca o mio veron ciascun di passate cormi giorni lenti io sono io spari da miei occhi langue. Dormiro sol nel manto mio regal, quando la mia giornata è giunta sera. Dormiro sol sotto la volta nera, dormiro sotto la
Center for the Visually Impaired is a state-of-the-art facility with low vision specialists for all your vision needs. Our low vision rehabilitation specialists will accurately measure your visual capabilities and help you use it more efficiently. Please call us today for a low vision evaluation at area code 516-200-3850 or stop by our local office located at 550 West Merrick Road, Suite 3, Valley Stream, New York, 11580. Do not assume your options are limited to surgery or glasses, and do not wait until you are legally blind to benefit from our services.
Did you want to learn more about how vision affects our daily lives? Well, this is a great segment for you because that includes vision in the classroom, women in medicine, and careers for the visually impaired, and much more. Each week, you can be fascinated by topics that include and branch beyond medicine, provided by the PCVI network. Tune in on Sundays at 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. You can also search PCVI network and the channel will appear on the search. New and exciting episodes hosted by Jelena Aristide will be posted weekly. You won't want to miss this. Trust me. We'll see you then.
Culture, société, politique, économie, santé, environnement, géopolitique, franc-parler avec Ronald Léon chaque mardi 7h 8h PM sur le Pcvi Network. Ronald Léon Show, le show le plus chaud du web.
Suivez-nous sur notre page Facebook, la chaîne YouTube et le site d'internet de Pcvi Network. Enfin, sur la page Facebook de Ronald Léon Show.
Is your vision giving you pause for concern? Have you had several surgeries or eye injections in the past? Are you using eye drops? Are prescription glasses working for you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, tune in to get pertinent information from me, Lady Day, and Dr. Prince, a low vision and blind rehabilitation specialist. We are live on the PCVI network to give education, information, and other solutions. Remember to subscribe to our network to get notifications.